Hello and welcome here to live.homag. My name is Jan Essig from Tapio, and today we will talk about Tapio, the ecosystem of the wood industry, and twinio, the digital tool management system by Tapio. So digital tool management is a big topic, and we tried to, let's say, solve a lot of problems within the digital tool management system, and therefore we created twinio. So we had a lot of interviews with customers, and one major problem which like every customer has was like the lack of transparency. So where's my tool? Where's my fresh sharpened tool? In which location it is? I mean, I need it right now for production. So this was a really big topic and a really issue customers has, and we thought like, okay, we should solve that problem easy and effective. Therefore, we created twinio with a major function and feature we will see later in the live demo. It's like tracking your location. So you can assign each and every tool to a separate location in twinio, and therefore in the overview you already see where your tools are located, in which location, and what's the condition of that tool. But I think the best way is like we're going to go out to the HOMAG showroom right now, and then we're checking out all the features, all the function, all the stuff twinio is doing right now, and what's the future of twinio. Therefore, come with me to the HOMAG showroom. Yeah, welcome here in the HOMAG showroom. And now we're going to dive deep into the features and functions of twinio, the digital tool management of Tapio. So basically, now we want to see what twinio can do for you as a customer. So I just logged into twinio. Twinio is a web application. So under twinio.tapio.one, you can log in with your Tapio account, and then you get all your information about the tool. So basically, that's my subscription here, the Tapio subscription. We already added some tools to the subscription. So you as a customer, you will have always the same view when you log into the application. So this is basically the overview of all your tools. So what you see product pictures of the different tools you already onboarded. You see the availabilities of the tool, the name of the tool, and some more information which I come back later. So basically, the first thing which is really important for you as a customer is the whole topic of availability of a tool. So we have like 3 availabilities in twinio. So we have a green status, orange status, and a red status. So it's available, it's in use, or it's not available, the tool. So this is what you see already in the overview of all the tools. Besides the product picture, you also see the name and a blue hook. The blue hook is a verification hook. That means we are working together with Tapio partners like AKE or Loico or Agefa, and they already implemented original data straight from the manufacturer for the tools in Tapio. So basically, if a customer is using those tools and those data from the manufacturer, they get the original data straight from the manufacturer, which is being shown here in the application by a blue hook, which is like verified data. Another information you get in the overview is a unique code. So actually, every tool which is onboarded by twinio will get a unique code by Tapio. Or the manufacturer already delivers a unique code with the tool, which you see here, for example, on that cutter. You get also Loico here, for example, is providing a unique code already with a code lasered on the tool, so you can scan it. So basically those are like the 2 versions right now. Either the application gives you the unique code or the manufacturer. What you also see in the overview is the location. Where is the tool located? So it's a really nice way to track the location for a tool. So if it's in a tool storage, or if it's on a machine, so in use, or if it's already at the sharpening service, so not available in the company on the shop floor. So all these tools you see here, it's a straight way to see where your tools are by tracking the location. You can also go under categories. You have different categories, tools or archive. Archive is basically if you're not using a tool anymore, you can archive a tool. You cannot delete the tool, but you can archive the tool. Why do we do that? Basically, you have then the possibility to see those, I would say, not active tools anymore in a historical way. So which tools you already used, how were the performance of the tools, all that stuff. When you click on the left corner, always the twinio icon, you come straight away back to the whole overview of your tools. So now we're gonna go a little bit deeper into the detail view of a tool. I'm gonna just take the first one here. When you go into the detail view, it's always the same structure when you click on the tool itself. You have on the bottom, you have the picture of the tool, you got the name, as I told you, the unique code, the availability status, and the location. And on the right corner, you got a QR code. When you click on the QR code, this is basically the code. Either the manufacturer is delivering the unique code, or Twinio is generating for every tool which is onboarded. It doesn't matter which code it is. Twinio will find every code. It doesn't matter if manufacturer code or Twinio code. You can download the code, you can print the code directly, and then you can stick it either on the package of a tool, or you can use magnetic QR codes for the tools, or you have some other things to log on the tool where the QR code is on it. So basically there are like different versions how to use the code and how to identify your tool on the shop floor, because that code is always like through the whole life circle of a tool. This one is the code how to identify when we update, for example, parameters by a sharpening service in the future, or specific other parameters. So when we go into the detail view once again, as I told you, the structure is always the same. You have on the top master data and technical data. You see it here, the blue hooks, which is like original data straight from the manufacturer, in this case from Leuco. Those technical data, for example, is not editable because like Leuco is the owner of that master data. But you have already the technical data here in the overview coming from Leuco. You have the section field data and measured data, which is very important for using the tool on the machine. My data is a section where you can basically add every kind of information which is important for you as a customer. For example, telephone number, service number for manufacturers, all that stuff. You can basically really add everything to it. Then you have the section limit values, just gonna come back later to that section. And you got one last section, which is actions. Under actions, you will find the archive function. So when you archive it, you will like get the question, you really wanna archive the item because you cannot undo it. So if you archive something, it really then is not active anymore. Or you can basically start the sharpening process by clicking the icon of the sharpening here. That means like the tool is booked manually on a sharpening process. We're gonna do that also later. But first of all, you see here the availability is a green one. So when you hit the change location button, I can, for example, change the location to a machine. So in your customer administration portal, you add your machines, and either if they're like connected or limited, those machines will be displayed also in Twinio under the location. So for example, I got here a CenterTech machine, and if you're gonna take that one here and you save it, then you will see the availability will change from green available into orange in use. That means now the tool is logged into a machine. That also means like you cannot book the tool to a sharpening service if it's on orange status, because first of all you have to put out the tool of the machine, and then you can start the sharpening process manually. So this gives you also in the overview, you see it here, it changes to orange. So every user of that subscription sees now where the tool is located and if it's available or not. So I'm gonna change the location once again. Let's say I'm gonna go back to the tool store. I just finished, for example, the production process on that machine. So then the availability will be green once again. So when I go under actions, I can then start a manual sharpening process. That means like you can book your tool to a sharpening service or sharpening process right now. In the future, you can also choose your service partner as a sharpening service partner, and then it's also like other things possible, like updating data automatically by the sharpening service. But right now, this is the manual sharpening process. You're gonna hit the sharpening button. You get the question once again, you really wanna put the tool into the sharpening process. I confirm it. And then the availability is changing to red, so the tool is not available anymore. That also means like, for example, measured data or field data, which are like editable parameters, are not edible right now because the status is on red. So don't get confused here. So then the tool goes out to the sharpening service, so it's physically out of the shop floor. So when the sharpening service gets it back sharpened, then you hit the complete sharpening button on the bottom. You confirm it one more time, and then basically it's available once again. The tool is on the shop floor in the company and you can use the tool. So field data and measure data are those data sections which are is really important for production, for using a tool on the machine. So the customer, you can here edit all those parameters on a general way or break down on a function one. So this one got one function. So you can really edit all those parameters. This is really important in future. By using those tool data straight on a machine, you need specific data from a tool to get it used on the machine. So therefore, the customer can really edit those data in terms of measuring data or field data. Then the section limit values. This is quite an interesting one. So you can set up to 3 limit values as a customer. So you as a customer can also set up the limit value. So for example, this is values you learned over the years, which is common for this cutter or common for a saw blade in terms of cutting length, for example. So I set up some random limit values here. The values for those limit values, the process data is still on 0 because it just came back from the sharpening cycle, so it's on 0. We're starting with the new cycle. So if your saw tech, like a saw tech, is already possible to send data straight from the machine to twinio, they're sending those process data straight away. So if you're producing with a saw, and then those process data like cutting length will automatically be updated here in twinio. So you don't have to do anything manually, it's an automatic process. Also, if you're not having a machine which is possible to do that, you can do that on a manual way. So under field data, under the function section, you have those 3 values here. It's cutting length, cutting volume, and cut count. So for example, I'm gonna add the cutting length after a production process. So for example, I add 500. You confirm that. And then when you hit the limit values here, you see the value is automatically in there. You have a green signal. That means you're still far away from your limit value. So, but for example, I'm gonna reduce my limit value from 1000 to, let's say, 600, for example. Confirm it. Then you see we are on a critical level of values. For example, we have 500 as a value, 600 as the limit value. The color is changed to orange, and you also have now here the warning in orange that at least one limit value is reaching the limit value you set up as a customer. I can also change it to 500, for example, just to demonstrate it for you. So if you put it on 500, then it switches to red. That means hey, the limit value is reached. Maybe you have to put this tool to the sharpening service to get it resharpened. So this limit value section will give you really the possibility to get more or less a system behind when the tool should go out to the sharpening service. The really advantage here is that every customer can set up those limit values on their purpose. So it's not something we as tapio or the manufacturer is giving to the customer. It's really on a customer-based recommendation of limit values. So what's also really nice is for example, to identify the tool or to onboard or add a new tool to the subscription. You can either make it as a manual process here by clicking the plus button, or you hit the scan button. Then the application asks you to use the camera. Yes, I allow it. And then you can, for example, scan here the code by Loico. You already come into the detail view of that tool, and then you can really update data, change locations, hit the sharpening, all those actions. So you see this application really is working with actions. It's more being clicking for different actions instead of typing a lot of information or machine data or parameters into the application. You can also do a scan not only for those lasered unique codes, for example for AKE, you can also scan the article number, then you get a hit of the master data, you click the master data of that tool, you can add specific more parameters to the tool, you save the tool, and then you get the unique code for the tool. That means like also onboarding a tool with the article number is something which will happen in between 30 to 60 seconds. Also, you can add every kind of tools also from non-tapio partners. So we give you the possibility to manage all your tools on a digital way, also if it's not a tapio partner. What you then do is like you hit the plus button on the top, and then it's a manual onboarding process, which basically takes more time, and it's not that comfortable like you're using tools from our partners here, because those data are already in tapio. But you can manually onboard every kind of manufacturer and every kind of tool to the application. So you also have a search here. You know the search basically from Google or other searches. It's working the same. You're searching for manufacturer names or product names or numbers. Doesn't matter. So it's basically working as a normal search. So yeah, that's basically it. For now, we see all the functions, all the features here in twinio. There are like coming more features in the future, because we really want to digitalize the whole product cycle of a tool. Also, you will see in the future the different historical sharpening cycles with the values of process data. And so twinio will be the one application for the wood branch, wood industry to use there for tool management. Also in the future, we will onboard more machine types, not only saws. So we were really working on connecting the connectivity of machines to the application. Okay, so the easiest way now is like to go into the Tapio shop. We have a trial version for twinio. You can try out twinio 30 days for free. You can manage up to 30 tools. Try it out, try the features. Just like checking out if it's something for you. If you got any questions, just hit us up or hit the HOMAG guys up. We are really glad to help you. And now we're going to go back into the studio. We're going to summarize all these features on the big ones. And so yeah, just see you in a bit. Bye. Yeah, welcome back here in the studio. I think it was really interesting to see all the features live on production, to see all the integrated manufacturers with their data and all the functions twinio already has and what's the futures of twinio. So to summarize up all the main features once again, I think it's really important to see the overview of your tools. So the availabilities of your tool, is it in a green status, so for available in a storage, or has it an orange status, which means like the tool is in a machine, or red, tool is already at the sharpening service. Also like the overview of the sharpening cycles, values, limit values, all that stuff, which is pretty interesting and also important for every customer. Also like we saw how to manually add values for, let's say, cutting length or cutting volume, like for process data, but also specific saws from the HOMAG group already can communicate with twinio. So they're gonna send over the process data after production process, and those parameters will be updated automatically, so it doesn't have to do something in a manual way. Also like the manual sharpening cycle, which is like right now a feature and a function in twinio where you can book your tool to a sharpening service, not a specific one, more general one. So you see like the availability is on red, and you also see like if the sharpening cycle is like finished and a new one starts, all the process data goes back to 0. The limit values will be like keeping up the same level. So it's really like starting to get it into a new cycle for a new, let's say, tool life cycle. Also in the future, I mean, we will integrate sharpening services, so therefore you could also book your tool then straight away to a specific sharpening service, which will be like a future feature. Also like the whole section of the limit values, I think customers really get to know that part quite well to set up their recommendations, how their tools normally perform. They see when a tool should go to the sharpening cycle, when the limit value is reached or not. how the tools performed, overperformed or underperformed. So that feature is really like showing and giving the customer a feeling on how their tools are performing with specific materials. And last but not least, because of the integration of the manufacturers, so the original data from the manufacturers, we digitalized the tool card in a, let's say, you don't need it analog anymore, it's digitalized. So all the data like technical data, master data, also measured or field data is included in twinio. You can work with that data and the parameters. You can put it on your machine, like you type it in. Future-wise, you can get this data automatically from twinio into the machine. So therefore, Leuco or AKE or AGEFA, they're working close with us to get all the data into our system. Yeah, I got a use case here for you, which is like really interesting how this customer adapted twinio in their workflow. So we're talking here about the company Metavel. Metavel is working a lot with CNC machines from HOMAG. And Metavel is a company, they didn't have any kind of tool management system in the past. So they started to use twinio as a tracking tool. That means like they digitalized all their cutters by putting on a plastic tag and a label on the plastic tag with a QR code with a unique code behind it from twinio. And therefore, first of all, they digitalized all the data, then they digitalized all the tools, and now they really can easily scan the QR code. They get like the hit straight to the detail view of the tool, and also they can assign locations in their company to the tool, so they now know always where the tools are located, sharpening service, tool storage, machine, preparation station, all that stuff. So that's pretty amazing, and yeah, you should check that out on our website as well. Yeah, try it out on our website. We also got a landing page for twinio where you see like all the features summarized once again. You have also those use cases with pictures, how they're going to do it, how they did it, and how they're going to work with it right now. So just scan the QR code here. You're going to come directly on that landing page. Also, like you can go into the shop and you get twinio on a trial version, 30 days for free. So no invest on your side. You can just like create a tapio account, get the trial version of twinio, and then just check out the function and the features in twinio. Okay, now we talked a lot about digital tool management. I showed you a lot of stuff, but still I think it's very important to talk about tapio in general, about the ecosystem of the wood industry. Once again, it's really important to understand what would happen if tapio would not exist. So every, I would say, participant in the wood industry creates their own platform, their own application, their own logins. So for customer, it's really like they needed like 30, 40, 50 logins just to get like a digital twin of their physical reality, which is really colorful. Therefore, without an open approach, it would be not handling it was not comfortable for the customer to handle all that thing in a digital way. Therefore, we have Tapio created. Tapio as an open approach really combines and networks all the participants in the wood industry. We created a technology platform with one login, one Tapio login. You got like one administration portal, what's called like My Tapio. There you manage your licenses, your machines, your users, or your production, your shop floor. Just like really, it's independently from every manufacturer brand. So it's really, you just have one login, and that's really important. Also like only one shop for different applications, if it's a HOMAG application or a Tapio application. And also like all the Tapio partners are able to integrate into the Tapio applications like twinio with Leuco or AKE, AGEFA or machine board, service board, all these applications. Another big topic which is like super relevant for Tapio is the whole topic of data ownership, data protection and data security. In terms of that whole data processing, data is needed for applications. For us, it's always important to have the transparency, what happens to the data. And also like that the customer is always the owner of their data, and they decide which application is able to use their data and which not. And also like for every machine manufacturer who owns specific data, or the tool manufacturer who owns specific data, this one is all transparent and everybody sees it in Tapio what happens with the data. And that's really important for us, and that's something we really have on focus on top priority within the future and also for current applications. Also, like when we see all the partners here in Tapio right now, we got 43, and it's like it's getting more and more, and it's really interesting. They're integrating into the system, into the ecosystem with data or with own application. Doesn't matter. It's wood industry specific applications. So it's not an application which you can use also for other industries. It's really like a wood specific applications. Also, like you can manage everything within your, I would say, shop floor licenses, users in my Tapio. And third of all, we are really like looking out for data security, data protection, and data ownership. Yeah, so enough from my side right now. Now we got quite some time to answer all your questions. So yeah, here we go.